Welcome to another edition of Inspired Discussions, where we challenge the way you think, shattering status quos while increasing your self worth. They call me Sibley. Serving people is who I am, is what I do, and I'm with my co host.
Remy, realizing energy made me.
What's up? What's up, y'all? This is the pre-Thanksgiving episode. So
Thanksgiving.
I hit them up in the middle of the week. I'm like, it's Thanksgiving. We always talk about gratitude. So let's do a gratitude uh
Man.
discussion on the day, and I kind of queued them up beforehand, or what I wanted to talk about, and I sparked something inside of them
Hey,
always,
bro.
as we always do with one another. Let me make that very clear. Let
Right.
me
I'm like, hey, it takes two to tango.
yeah,
Use that how you feel.
as we always do with one another. But y'all, in the middle of last week, I was just I want to say it was when I was replaying the episode, and with our little my solo that turned into a duet, and it wasn't supposed to.
Hey, man, if you know the words, you know the words. All right, you gonna want to spit the words at some point.
That's facts though. But just the words of that song, like as you look back over your life and you think things over, and you can truly say that you've been blessed. Like those some heavy words, though.
For real.
Some
Yeah.
powerful words, and and
Yeah.
and, and I got to thinking, like, just a moments of gratitude, and one of them that I was thinking of was, I can't remember exactly what the Facebook post was exactly, but I was talking about something. I want to say I was talking about Peter walking on water, and I drew a
Oh.
parallel or something. The post gonna come up. Watch, it's gonna come up, and then I'm,
Oh.
I'm gonna bring it back.
Oh. Okay. All
Or
right.
something along that nature. And maybe later on, I don't know if it was that day or that week, I was with my godmama and my mom, and they was talking about the status, and they said that I was preaching in it, and I was like, I did kind of have that, like, preaching, like, what you talking about? I wasn't preaching. I was just saying this.
I was just spewing
But
how I felt.
right, exactly. It was just a thought that I was putting as a status, and one of them had said, I can't remember which one that said it was. They was like, you may not thought you was preaching, but that's how we took it. And man, that is just is such a jewel, because in that moment I didn't really understand what was being said to me. Like, it kind of, I don't want to say it went over my head, because it stayed with me. It stayed with me, but
Right. Right.
I didn't I didn't really truly understand, like, what it meant until now, and how much, like, I use that now, like, just with the podcast, because I don't be so focused on, what I'm saying anymore, or, relaying it a certain way, because I know where my attention's coming from, and they pure. So if I move to say something, or yeah, if I move to say something, I
Mm,
know it's supposed to be said in that moment.
right.
So I guess a question, I don't know necessarily it's a question, but, like, just your thoughts on, like, little moments like that, and those moments of gratitude where
Ah.
you like, wow, like, aha, I get that now more than I did.
Well, shoot, what the last 20-25 minutes has been, aha. Oh, I get that now. Like before we actually started. So, but just to speak on that last part of why, man, well, why that makes so much sense to me is especially with you saying that how they said it came across as if you was preaching. And it's like, dang, bro, for even just to hear that statement, I hear that on a regular as well. And it's like, yo, I get that now. Now I get it. Cause like how we started before this, it was like that uh concern in the back of my head, like, all right, I know when I'm speaking about something passionately because I feel a certain way about whatever the topic may be. Also at the same time, that also means that for those who are listening in that moment and really choosing to engage within that, they're taking my words. There's value within the words that I'm saying. So I'm like, dang, for that to be the case, I hope I don't say nothing that comes across like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that or whatever, because now I know my words really matter all the way across the board. But at the same time, knowing that I'm talking through whether it's actual experience or my perspective or similarities because of other situations or whatnot, which is normally always tied to sickle cell at the end of the day, it's all comes across as real and passionate. So I've had several people actually say stuff like that where I just feel like I'm just talking on a regular basis. It's just a conversation. Then they say preach or whatever. Like, I know it's a jokingly thing. It's like, preach, go ahead. In my head, I'm like, whoa,
Right.
whoa, whoa. I ain't preaching now. I ain't preaching. You got your word for that. I'm not preaching. I'm just sharing some words, the conversation.
But
That's all it is.
that's the thing though, because why do you think that's our reaction though when we hear preach? Like, because
Bro,
it really shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be though. If you
right?
really think
It's a
about
good
it,
thing, right?
yeah. Why is that? Do do our spirits like really not want to be tied to religion? Like
No,
that much,
you
or
know what?
what
Dang,
is it? Because that's because you just made me think. Because when I'm like, hey, you say you had the same reaction that
bro.
I have.
Regular.
Like, why is that though?
Okay. You know what? That's funny you should ask that, because it's like that should be a question, period. But no, I have never thought about that. Why is that the case? And I'm gonna say for me, I'm just thinking just because, all right, one, our raising, we was raised in the church religion, period. So at the end of the day, we already hold a certain level of respect and stature when it comes to speaking to somebody, because you're speaking to the soul, like, you know what I'm saying, spiritually or
Right,
whatever,
right.
and you're affecting somebody's life, and we hold that like valuable. And it's like, dang, somebody say that, it's like, no, I'm not doing that. You get that resistance because it's like, no. I'm not trying to affect your life in that way. I'm not speaking to your soul to the point of
Mm.
like heaven and hell, because we hold that respect so much because we was raised up under it.
But
That's
are
where I
we
think
not
that
though?
comes from,
Are we not really when we speak? We
bro.
speaking to somebody. So because it just go to like what I told you before we started recording the show, where I was like, that's why I'm so grateful for our relationship, because I
Right.
I could not be like in the flow where I can be like, I know what I want to talk about, but I just, that energy just not there yet, and you just start talking and you pour something into me, and I'm like, okay, I'm there. So is that not what we doing though? So I just think that word
No, you're
preach,
right. You're right.
it's like it,
I don't know, man.
because maybe that is what it is for me. Now that I think about it, and since I mentioned it, it's just I don't want to be associate. I don't want to be tagged to that religion like that, because it's a spiritual thing. And when I just hear
Yeah, like
when I hear preach, it's kind of cringy. I'm like, I'm not preaching,
that's kind of
you
it, it.
know.
It's also, for me especially, it's equivalent to, well, of course, this is within our raising and whatnot, being in church. We also got that. Don't let everybody pray for you. We
Absolutely.
respect that.
Oh,
Like,
oh yeah,
you ain't
yeah.
putting your hands on me,
Yeah, I
bro.
was just about to say it's more so don't let everybody lay hands on you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
so it's like
Like,
on
so
on
yeah,
that level.
yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing, really. It's just that value of the importance. But I don't know, to say we preaching. I guess it depends on what you consider preaching. Like, if we had to really break it down, like,
I don't know.
is that the case or no? Is preaching necessarily you being in church and standing behind podium speaking from the Bible? Because
I don't
that's the
know.
perspective that I'm taking it from, and I'm like, hey, I'm not up there. No, 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 no. I didn't go through the journey and the schooling and the lessons and know this and that about religions to the point to where I'm also taking that recognition to go to the church and speak to the masses. But at the same time, we're feeding through our own life experiences. So is that preaching, or is there another word for that?
Um,
That's what I
well,
think it is. What we consider
I,
preaching. Dang, boy, I ain't think about that, man. You, Lord Jesus Christ.
man, I'm looking at the definition. That's why I'm silent right
Oh
now because
man,
I
I'm
pulled up the
glad you did it,
definition.
because clearly I'm sitting in front of
Preach, preach, deliver a sermon or religious address to an assembled group of people, typically in church, uh, with object publicly proclaim or teach, earnestly advocate, give moral advice to
you
someone,
had to say
and
advocate, Lord
no.
Jesus.
Hey, I'm just reading what's here, and we can go from there. And give
Yo.
moral advice to someone in a annoying or what's that? I don't know that word. I ain't gonna hold you up.
Uh,
Pompously
I'm not.
self-righteous way. Well, yeah, I ain't gonna hold you up. I'm not.
Well, can I just ask where was that from?
Uh, I don't
I don't know
know.
why I ain't typing up on my screen either.
I want to say that's
Right in
what
front of the computer.
the new Oxford American Dictionary. So whatever that's worth,
Okay.
I just put in preaching, and that was the first one that came up. So because I just wanted
Dang,
to get a
man.
definition to see. So
Man,
I
boy, this
mean, so
Lord Jesus.
I guess it just go back to what I said at the
I'm
beginning.
afraid to hit search. Even though I just heard you say it, I typed it up and I still ain't hit search yet. It's like I don't want to know. I don't
Yeah,
want to know.
so I mean, I guess it's just all about, man, how it's received, man. Uh, that's just something I'm gonna put out there and be like, bring me back understanding of why I get that cringe, like a true understanding to it.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Pompously. Give more advice to someone in an annoying or pompously self-righteous way. Dang. Bro, I never thought about this before, yo. Like, I'm really sitting over here thinking about this, and normally I already have a thought to feed off of this, but man, this one is heavy, bro. This is heavy for me. Heavy. Because I'm still. Oh, all right. Let me list why. Well, let me share why this feels so heavy to me. Okay. So with us growing up, period. I'm just gonna try to keep it short. I ain't gonna drag it out. With us growing up, middle, high school, some college, whatever. Always heard that you're a leader, blah blah blah. You're a leader, etc., blah blah blah. In the back of my head during that time, it was like, all right, thank you. No real value or appreciation was put into those words being said to me. And then certain things happen in life that make me focus and shift my energy and, the growth mentally, spiritually, and whatnot. It's like, yo, okay, now I see why they kept saying that. Now I'm aware of the fact, and I'm also making the decision to at least engage in the lane of leadership willingly. And now that I'm at the point where it's like, all right, cool. now I'm comfortable with that. I'm gonna try to keep moving in the lane that I'm moving in to be more of a leader and share different perspectives through my own way of life in multiple ways. So now I'm cool with it. But now we jump into preaching. I don't know about that one yet. I don't know about that one just yet. I've heard it maybe 2 or 3 times in my life, but I didn't
Yeah,
put much thought into that either.
I think it's just the choice of word that person choose to say, man, and that's just how they perceive it. Because the more I think about it, like, um, yeah.
So are you saying preaching and leading is one and the same? It's just the word that's being used in the moment. I'm like, if that's equivalent to that, then I'm still gonna choose the word leading.
No, I just think, I mean, because see, I just think it's just based
Oh man,
on like
I already
it
know where
just
this
go
about to go.
back. No, cause it just go back. It just based it on and goes back to just how that person is perceiving it. Because I mean, and let me not put my hand in front of the camera. It's how that person perceiving it. Because I mean, our podcast, they can look at us week in and week out preaching. You know, somebody can say, y'all be on there preaching, you know. So, or I mean, you know, our common discussion. I just think it's just a way. I'm trying to come up with a rational explanation for this,
Right.
because I just don't like the aura around the word, and I guess
Right. That yes.
I haven't overcame that. So I guess it's
Right.
just that way they connect with our message. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's the way they connect. They figured like, oh, he just gave me my sermon, I guess. So I mean, like
Right.
like what they say, different strokes for different folks. Like, whatever floats your boat.
True. This, you know
Like,
what? This bringing me back to dang, was that 2 or 3 episodes ago? I'm not really sure. And then at the end, I don't know which episode this was, to be completely honest, but I know at the end when I shared that statement that my dad said,
oh
why you
yeah,
gonna hide yourself from the world
yeah,
or something
yeah,
like that? And I
yeah,
was like,
yeah,
yo,
yeah.
that's similar to this right now. It's like, why are you choosing to run away from your blessing at the end of the day? It shouldn't matter what word is being used. Either way, it's in a good light and it's coming across naturally. So for somebody to even be able to say that about us in response to anything, knowing that we don't, or they don't have to know it, but us knowing that we didn't do it with the structure or mindset and specific focus to do that. It came across naturally through our own passion and living, experiences and whatnot. I'm like, dang, well, if I'm looking at it on that light, then I guess I am preaching.
Yeah,
I
no,
guess
no
I
doubt,
am preaching.
no
Like,
doubt,
why am
no
I
doubt.
running from this blessing at the same time?
I
So
mean, like I say, different strokes for different folks. And now you
that's
mentioned your dad in that episode, and it reminded me, because I have been meaning to
yeah,
do this for the
yeah. Oh
longest.
Lord Jesus, I don't know what you're about to say.
No, it actually it just come full circle with just moments of gratitudes and just having certain conversations. Cause you know, me and your dad, we done probably since high school, we done had like 3 or 4 conversations, and I may not remember them like all like everything we
Mm,
talk about, but I remember
right.
certain moments that I'm grateful for. And one of them specifically, it was maybe, I don't know. I end up calling him, or he called me. No, I might have called him, and I was talking to him. I was catching up with him. I want to say it might have been after Armani. I don't know. It might have been
Mm,
a little bit after Armani and whatnot. You know, congratulated me, did that little whole thing, and we just started talking, and I let him know like how like everything that I wanted to do and I had plans on doing and whatnot.
right.
And one of the things that he told me, man, and it really it was a key to me. Like I want to say it was like one of my first steps to like believing in everything that I wanted to do and like who I was and what I wanted to grow into. He was like, yeah, man, I'm proud of you. And he was like, you know, how growing up like is when y'all was growing up, is certain people that you see that they do certain things, and you was like basically just speaking to like me doing business and whatnot. And he was like,
Right.
what I'm hearing from you, I love it, because I always knew that's something that you could do. And it was like that moment right there, man.
Wow.
I'm so grateful for it, because it is, like I said, it was one of those first steps where I started believing in myself, and where I'm
Wow.
like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And it was like we don't talk much. We don't talk much, but like that conversation, I want to say that maybe 6-7 years ago, maybe, was
Dang.
like really, and it was the start of me, everything that I have been able to build up to this point, as far as just my awareness, my confidence, and everything I want to do. And it's just to remain resilient. It was I look back at that moment right there. I was like, that was the moment where I said, I I can do this thing. Like
That was
I
your
believe.
when I look back over my life and I think to myself,
Exactly, exactly, man. That's what I was saying, man. I'm like, it been so many moments, and I thought about, and you know what's so amazing about that? I have been wanting to mention that since the episode, the hand wisdom episode.
oh wow, word,
Yeah,
wow.
I've been wanting to mention that and give them roses since then. Cause man, I just I'm big on that, like letting people know like how grateful you are for them, like right now in this moment. Especially
Facts,
everything
especially now.
with my dad, man, and just like, cause I'm not gonna say I was down on myself like completely, but I felt like I could have just did a little bit more to show him how much I was, grateful for
Right,
him or whatnot. So I'm like, the
right.
only way for me to, to sort of, kind of, I guess you can say, fix that, is like show gratitude to the people that I still got here that helped me get to where I'm at now. So yeah,
Mm. No,
it's
that's you know what
yes,
that's
sir.
real. I mean that's real. Two things. Uh, one thing for sure with my dad, I can definitely say of multiple things that I can be like, oh wow, I see how he got that, or he's really good at that. One thing for sure, in my mind, top three, great judge of character. Period. I feel like he got that off rip when it comes down to looking at other people, and that could be military and being over soldiers and whatnot. But
Absolutely, that's got to
bro,
play a big part of it.
definitely a great judge of character. You know what? That sound like that sound like a good guess one day. I mean, you don't know,
It
man.
hey, we most definitely can bring him on, man,
You know what? And I know
and
he
get
open
some of
to
that,
it. I
and get
know he
some of
open
that
to it,
wisdom. We can get some of
bro.
that wisdom.
Oh my god, that episode gonna be special for sure. Second thing, with everything that you said, and you know what? Speaking on gratitude and how this conversation started off rip with with speaking about preaching and whatnot, how people perceive what we're saying or what we're doing on the outside looking in, knowing, and for us knowing where it's coming from through passion alone. If that's how they're accepting it, cool, cool. Through the same gratitude and appreciation, why not? Why not at least what they say, dip our toes in the water and be like, all right, let's go ahead and go and accept this title, bro. What better time than now? I mean, we talking about it. We don't know why we running from the title. Cool. And something like that, the people got to get you that. No matter what.
Facts.
You can't go to school for that.
Facts.
I mean, you can, but you get what I'm saying. You get where I'm coming from.
Yeah. The
So
people
gotta
gotta verify you. The people gotta verify
Yeah.
you. You know what I'm
So
saying?
if they getting that from us through whatever conversation it may be, cool. I'm gonna accept that. And that's for real. That's me. So that's why I took a deep breath before I said it. So I'm like, dang, all right. As soon as I say this, I gotta hold myself accountable. Period. All right, cool. Dip my toes in the water and go ahead and accept that title, bro. I mean, we doing some good. There's no need to run from that blessing, that title overall. People gave it. Cool. Keep doing what we doing. And there's no reason to change that at all.
Look, show gratitude for understanding and healing on this morning.
Hey, I'll tell you what though, over a period of time, I don't think it would have came that fast. It would have been another 8 months. I would have been like, you know what, we could think about that now. But no, I can take that. I can take that.
No, and that's really what I came to too, because when I noticed that your reaction, that reaction that you did, I'm like, dang, that was my same reaction. I'm like, why is that? So that's dope that we can work through that within our discussions. And see, man, now I'm just thinking about all these moments of gratitude. I got another story.
Oh, go ahead, man.
Because I didn't realize this one until I got back home and I thought about it. I'm like, dang, my dad was working through him. Y'all know we talk about it was last week's episode, Infinite Intelligence. We just talking, or God, or however you want to label that one source of energy, however you label it.
Yeah.
And I got an OG at the bowling alley, and he the same age as my dad. He the same age as my dad, and he, like I say, he an OG, so I kind of look at him like my pops when I'm at the alley, just because they are that age bracket, they all got the same type of vibes, or whatnot.
Right.
They because they all agree. And he from Beecher.
Oh,
so
wow.
so the same vibes there. And he always tell me, he was like, he be like, Dre, man, I do not like young niggas. It's just but it's something about it. But he was
Came
like,
with that off rip.
yeah, he was like, I just don't, man.
Right.
But it's something about you, man, that I love, man. Just like you just a good dude, man. Like, and then he just started he showed me so much love. Like, this was like 2 Saturdays ago. He was like, just the type of person you are, the way you think, the type of father you are, man, and just how you move, man. I love that. And he was like, I don't even know how old you are. And I was like, I'm 32. And he was like, I'm almost double your age. And he or whatnot, or 25 years older than you. That's what he said. I'm 25. I'm like, yeah, you the same age as my dad. And he was like, well, take this from somebody that's not your dad. Like, you doing a great job with your life. Like, keep it up and whatnot. And in that moment,
wow.
I was just showing gratitude, and I was like, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do, know that type of deal. But I pulled back from it. I'm like, dang, that was my dad talking through, moving through him. So man, like on this episode of gratitude, I just want to show Stevie, because he watch our videos, and he kind of follow us on when I drop his stuff on Facebook. So I'm gonna tell you, since you probably you gonna see this, I may even chop this part of the video up. I am grateful
Wow.
for that moment, man. My dad was working through you at that
Wow.
moment, and then so this about to turn into
Bro, I'm like, all
I'm getting
right,
into the flow now.
here we
And,
go.
what's so amazing about it, bro? You remember when I took when I told you like I needed to take that break and I just needed to reground and stuff
Yeah,
and whatnot.
yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of that reason was, man, I was kind of going through a spell where like I was missing my pops and I was starting to lose faith a little bit. And I was like, man, and
Mm,
it was the first time in 7 years that I had really thought about quitting, like just dropping everything and just
mm,
I don't want to do none of this no more. No, I don't want to do none of this no more. And it was the first time that I started losing faith. And like I had to really like dig deep and like, where is this coming from?
mm.
Because like I never if it's one thing I'm consistent in, and that's not quitting. And you know,
Okay.
and having those thoughts and like it's not quitting. Like, yeah, I may have the days where I'm like, man, you know, the rough days, but I never be like, I'm ready to be done with all of this.
Mm,
And once I dug deep, I thought I'm like, a lot of my why was me wanting to take care of my dad. And I lost that sense of purpose because I didn't have him no more physically. And it was
mm.
like my pops here, like, yeah, I want to provide for my family, create a lifestyle, but like I didn't realize and understand how important it was to me to be able to take care of my dad and how much it drove me every day. And I'm like,
Right,
man,
right,
I should have put more energy behind it because this is really affecting me now because I'm in this moment where I'm like, I'm in a place where I don't even know if I can get up out of this because I never been here in this moment where I'm say I want to be done with it. You know,
right.
I want to be done. So when I had that exchange with him at the alley, like I didn't get it like right then and there. But when I thought about it, you know how when you get home and you think about it, you be like, I'd be like, man, and I just put my hand on my head and I start crying because I'm like, that's what I needed in that moment
Right.
because
That's wow.
it restored everything in me. So I'm grateful for you, my brother. I love you and thank you.
Wow.
So yeah, that
All right.
that
Well,
yeah.
since that's what we doing, I mean, good Lord. Okay.
Hey man,
Shoot.
nah, I might have preached right there.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I will first. I'm gonna speak on what you just said. While I make up, while I make my choice with some other things that I'm gonna say after that. But with you even saying that, I'm like, all right. Well, if he would have quit, that would have been the one time you would have got me like full fledged. If people saying we preaching, like you would have got me full fledged, like all the way through. Like, all right, bro, I'm gonna tell you why the value is in this in so many different ways, and I would have just left it at that. You know, that's on you. That would have been my action because my only thought would have been, all right, I can't control this, so I'm not gonna put that much energy into that. But I know I can control this. At least let me shoot this his way. That would have been my thought process behind that. And for you to even make the statement of well, sharing that statement of situation and thought and whatnot behind that, thankful for that because that also shows the growth or the awareness that you had to even be able to get to this point to have this conversation with us to say that.
Absolutely, man.
Period.
Because like I said, I've been doing this band since October. So and like well, we in November. Like for real, it was like about end of September up until now, really. Well,
Right.
a couple weeks ago. I mean,
Now,
for real.
in regards to me and you right now, I don't know what month it was exactly last year. When you saw me in the parking lot.
That
and we started
was
talking or whatever.
that was a little bit after my dad, I think.
Okay, yeah.
So
From
yeah.
that moment, I don't remember the month, but it's no big deal. You know what I'm talking about. And then for us to engage in conversation still, and realize that what, we still got this all natural conversation and building just through our natural conversation with no real purpose from them behind it. It was just us having not being able to see each other for so long and still carry the exact same conversation value wise to this day how we did back in the day. And then to talk about this and other things, and then for you to even reach out and be like, you know what, let's do that. I'm thankful for that at the same time, because now, even with the statement of, you have made a statement in the past off camera saying how this may have helped me, come out of my shell a little bit or whatnot.
Uh,
And, you know what I'm talking about? And I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
I'm a little conflicted within that statement, but okay.
I remember that reaction. What? Nigga, no. Yeah, I remember that reaction. I know exactly
but
what you're talking
but
about.
now, no, on a real, I can thank you for that for sure, because even though I'm able to have these conversations with those who I feel needed only in one lane, which is health, or just those who are connected with sickle cell, period, doctor, nurses, those who else have sickle cell, whatnot. That's just one lane of people that I would be able to have these conversations with. So being able to engage in the same context and hold the same value or even greater value within conversations on one-on-one has also prepared me to have larger masses and crowds that I can talk to outside of just the health aspect. Us talking like this on a regular definitely has helped me on that level. And I'm like, you know what? In that context, that's I can be thankful for that for sure. Because even though we had the conversation ideal wise, I don't think I would have pulled the trigger on it unless I felt like I really, really needed to. Because we also talked about how I'll wait for the pressure to hit me on some of the things, and I'm like, that pressure might have not ever hit. But for you to hit the button on that and reach out, thank you for that as well. Yeah,
Hey,
definitely.
that's
Definitely.
my
It's somehow
pleasure. Like
everything come full
like
circle like that.
absolutely. Like I say, iron sharpen iron, man. And that's why I wish, I always tell you how grateful I am to you. Like all my partnerships, everybody. Like I'm always letting them know like how much I appreciate it, because I know
Yeah.
I understand now more than I ever have before in my life. Like I cannot do this by myself, like at all. I cannot do this by myself, and that's real hard for me to. You might be able to relate to this a little bit, and that's real hard for me to come to, because like I'm a like look. If you ain't gonna do it, I'll get the damn job done and do it. You know what
Bro,
I mean? So it's like
that's
I'm
off the
like
gate.
that. So so now I'm just
Dang.
more moving in a where I say, okay, my intentions is pure. I know I'm grounded right. So I'm gonna attract the people to help me leverage this whole vision, and
Mm.
and, and really, to be able to expand it to everything. Because like I say, like this whole podcast and inspired discussions, I see it growing into a online broadcasting company. And
What? Me
like
too.
and
Me too.
and that's only like that's 1/7 of, or I don't even know, like that's not even a quarter of, my whole structure overall. And I just understand, man. I can't do it by myself, and I just need to stay grounded, stay in the present moment, and like I'm gonna attract those experiences to me, through you know through that
Dang.
through that humility about thinking of self
Oh,
less.
oh
You know.
boy. What? Man, bro. Like now I'm sitting here thinking about all these how everything's like a piece of the puzzle. And it's like, yo, I wouldn't even be able to make that statement what I just said about if you would have gave up or whatever, how you would have got the full fledged, like, bro, this is value, this and that. If you didn't pull the trigger on that, if you didn't hit the button on that, period, we wouldn't be here at all. We wouldn't have gained the growth that we've had now. Like everything falls into play, period. So it's like even with you talking about that moment when you felt like you had to reset, now looking back on it and with you able to share that and me not knowing that in the moment, all I knew was that you needed to reset. That was it. So in my head, I was like, all right, some people just gotta chill, whatever, whatever. But now that you went in more detail with it and knowing what I was going through on my end, which may not have been much or whatever, but it's like, yo, certain things wouldn't have been able to happen. So now it just helped me gain a better understanding of you was supposed to have that moment, and then you was also supposed to have that moment to where you felt like, all right, I need to reset because of this.
Right. Right.
It's like you was supposed to feel that way because you was supposed to reset. Like it's some like the pieces just come together like that. It's like, wow, bro.
And then the more I see, I'm thinking deeper about it now that I just actually shared it, and because that's really the first time I put those thoughts together to even that just happened so organically because I did not plan on sharing that, but I'm glad I did because it was kind of a burden lifted up off of me a little bit
Bro,
because
yeah. Go ahead. My fault.
because
Go ahead.
now that I think about it, and through all of that, I still did I still showed up. So now that I'm thinking, like, I really didn't want to quit. I just needed to, you know what I mean?
Facts.
Like,
Facts. There you go. Yeah.
I didn't really want to quit.
Yeah.
I just needed to reground myself and like restore my faith. You know what I mean? So like, I really didn't want to quit because if
Yeah.
that was the case,
Now you yeah.
I wouldn't have did 6 episodes. Like in between all of
Yeah.
that, so I didn't really want to quit. So it was
Wow.
man,
Right. Now
man.
yeah.
I just
Yeah. Yes.
you
Now
just
you
help
now you
you just help free me, man, and just from
yo,
like the whole
bro.
just that whole
Man,
shit,
yes, bro.
spill.
It is really amazing how things come together like that, bro.
Absolutely, man. And
Man.
and then just to hear you say like, because I feel like you kind of are. Well, this see here it goes.
Go ahead.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
no, no, because it's just amazing how this come everything come full circle because with your whole explanation of you saying if you would have did this, you would have got full fledged me. I feel like everything you said after that was preaching at me, and it was like, look, basically like telling me like, dude, your value is necessary, man. Like I need you. Like
Bro.
that's what I heard.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. So oh man, I'm so
You know,
grateful, man,
yo,
because this all coming full circle.
let me add this as well. Let me add this as well. With you saying that, you you notice the value that was in that. Now, with the same explanation that I gave of how I perceived what you just said and everything else that was going on then in that moment, like, yo, all right, you were supposed to be in that rut or whatever, which forced you to also reset, which forced this, and this, whatever. How we just broke all that down. Those are the key moments that create true value in your life. Period. Those moments right there, that quote
Absolutely.
unquote rut or whatnot, that is the true value right there. Because now, because you were here having this conversation, that reset, all the domino effects that came after that are now a part of you. It engage. I don't want to say engage. It helped you to gain the growth that was needed in that moment. Period. And that's going to stick with you because you're not going to go backwards from that now. That's the true
Absolutely.
value right there.
Absolutely.
And that is
Absolutely.
the biggest thing behind my whole life. Period. Especially with sickle cell. And I don't think I've touched on how I look at stuff like that on a deeper scale, because y'all have heard me talk about value in situations, but this might have been the second or third time where I actually said true value within a situation. And the difference for that, at least how I look at it, the value in a moment are the things that you take with you in that moment, period, that help you to gain an understanding of something in that moment. The true value are the moments that help you gain an understanding of who you are and sticks with you for life. That growth that it calls you to have spiritually, physically, spiritually, physically, mentally, all of those. Those are the true value. Those are the growths that stick with you because you're not going to lose those no matter what. Period. Even if you go into a whole nother rut and in your eyes it may seem like an even deeper situation and you may feel like you need to reset for a whole month, it's gonna feel different and you're going to gain a different understanding because of the awareness that you have from your previous ruts or your hurdles or whatever it may be. Those are the true values. Those are sticking with you, period. That's what make you you, period. The value is in the moment. You'll gain it, you'll understand it, and you might not even think about it after that. But the true value ones make you you to this day, and they're gonna stick with you to the day you die. That's how I look at that. And that's how I've always looked at it in regards to me having sickle cell. Um, shoot, anything that can be perceived negative on the outside looking in, because you ask me at the end of the day, ain't no such thing as negative, but I'll take it. So that's the true value within all of that. And those type of conversations make me like really excited and happy to engage with those, because I'm like, now I can explain how I see those negative situations. Now I can talk about something with somebody else and they'll say something negative, but now I can change the perspective and pull out the value within that situation just for them to remain aware, if not only in that moment, but from here on. So when the next moment happens, that's going to feel shitty to you, shift it just a little bit. There's value there, whether it's true value or value is there. So I thank you for that.
Absolutely. And my pleasure. Iron sharper iron. And what I gathered from that is just to feed, go off to what you were saying. And through those moments, you gain wisdom that you can give back to somebody else. Important to somebody else, because uh my partner, he lost his cousin, same age or whatnot. And he just lost his aunt or whatnot, legend, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And like I was struggling with, checking up on him, making sure he was all right. I wanted to, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with my emotions, you know what I'm saying, what I'm dealing
Right,
with. I,
right.
I don't really even know like how to come up, and even, say something. And so I had it had
That's
just
okay.
came it had just came to me, and I was like, let me send my condolences and say stay strong and continue to walk in faith, because it wasn't until like I had really narrowed it down within myself, like I lost faith, and why I lost faith. You know what I
Mm,
mean? You know what I'm
mm.
saying? If had I had somebody, like that I knew that had experienced something, a loss close, like, kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
sort of in my shoes,
yeah, yeah.
let it me know, like, look, stay strong and don't never lose your faith. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it sounds so, but
It
and the
sounds
more
so cliche and simple,
it
but
it it do, man, and that's why the more I'm thinking about this, like I know better, and that's why, man, it's just important just to
yeah,
get stuff out
yeah.
there like this, man, because I'm thinking like, man,
Facts,
like
facts.
what, what was I doing, man? But I'm good now, especially after this,
But
man.
it's all
It's
good
freed me.
because it
It's
brought us
freed me
here.
for it.
It
It
brought us
did.
here.
It did.
Hey,
It
life
did.
is a bro. Dang, and I got this on my. I just talked about this with my dad too a few days ago. On my on my website, yourfellowcycler.org. One of the quotes I got on there: "Life is a matter of perception. Positive and negatives. What you choose to engage with will also affect the outcomes within your life." So the entire time, like how we talked about that and everything, is like you didn't think about it, but now you thought about it. It's like, yo, man, I could have engaged in that then, but you weren't thinking about it. That's the hardest thing to
Right.
do. Period.
Right.
Even in my case, if when I'm going through pain or something like that, it's like it's hard for me to engage and focus on what I need to focus on because in the moment it's like, bro, I'm tired of this. This is it. I'm the only one going through this. Like, bro, no, leave me alone. But over time, you was like, you know what? You can choose to engage with what makes you you. Those true values are there. Whether you choose to engage with it or not, that is up to you. That affects your outcome in the moment in your life. Second thing, um, I'm gonna just share it just because you said that. Now you said he had the loss with someone in the family, like death, right?
Right.
Death, right?
Right. 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 Right.
Boy, oh boy, it's a lot of things I could say about death in general. I'm gonna just share how I normally share it with people when it comes to death and how I look at it. When it comes to death, I believe that death is one of those energies. Though it sucks, like we know the basic. Yes, it sucks. We're gonna be crying, and we might feel like we alone. We don't want to be bothered. Like all the normal stuff we think about. Yes, that is true, factual. When it comes to death, that is a special, valuable energy. At the end of the day, I
Oh
say
yeah, you,
that
you didn't
because
mention that before, because yeah,
did I go in? Oh, I'm
yeah.
gonna go in depth with it. Yeah.
Go ahead, go ahead.
But
I'm just saying you mentioned it before, and I love what you said about it. So yeah, go ahead.
yeah, death is a valuable, very valuable energy,
Yeah.
and it's rare, of course, because you're not gonna engage with that energy too often, depending on how your lifestyle goes. Like when somebody go and pass away, all right, cool. Some of us we might get 3 deaths in a what 3 month span or something, whatever. But those are the only times you're gonna feel that. Any other portion of your life, you're not gonna feel death energy. And here's how I look at death on a positive tip, and I really really believe this just through my own personal experiences with sickle cell and being in pain and engaging with other energies on a different level all through sickle cell, knowing that, and I know everything happened for a reason. We're not going to understand that reason in the moment. And I also believe there's two sides to everything. So you can choose, even though it's going to be hard, you can choose to engage with death and sit within it and, mope and, feel sad about it. Or you can take that energy and flip it and work through it at the same time. Because us as human beings, I look at it as we are like the conduits. And when it comes to energy, we are engaging with energy on a regular basis. That's through emotions or whatnot. That's energy, period. So when it comes to death, that's such an overwhelming energy. We're gonna damn near like explode or get overwhelmed. That's where the tears come in, and that's when the
Absolutely.
thoughts hit us heavy. And it's
Man,
like everything else, it's like, yo, you think about that, but that's because, to me, this is all just to me, death is such an overwhelming energy to where it pours out of us in so many different ways. If we choose to sit within it,
absolutely.
it will consume us at the end of the day. And then you look back and it's like, yo, I was in this moment for this long. And you're going to still get these moments in and out in life because we're still human beings. We feed off of emotions, and that's energy to me. We feed off of that, period. So being able to do that and knowing that it's such an overwhelming, rare energy, you can do that or take it and build through it. And I feel like that's something that we might not been aware of, like us too. I'm just gonna use us. We might not have been aware of to get to this point and creating this podcast, because it's been several moments where you brought up, your father's passing and whatnot, and how you feel about it and the actions that you made after it. That's to me, that's a sample or an example of building through death and not sitting in it, even though we still get those moments. And I feel the same way on my end when it comes to the other stuff that I'm doing within sickle cell. It's like, you know what? I can't let that I can't let that consume me. Period. If I do that, y'all wouldn't see anything creative coming from me in any type of way. It'd get to the point where it's just like I don't care. But it's such a rare energy. It's going to pour out of us one way or the other. That's all. That's all. I could go into detail more, but I think I already went
No,
more than enough in detail. So you get what I'm saying.
absolutely no, because you sparked something within me, and you made me realize something that I didn't. I'm just not realizing now, or just being able to recall. Remember I want to say it was early on. I want to say maybe episode 5 or 6, our Greater Good episode, where
Mm.
I had the business deal fall through or whatnot, and but
Oh, okay. I know the episode you're talking about now. Yeah.
yeah, where I had the business deal fall through, and I was talking how like I didn't, it didn't shake me because I was like it fell through for something better, you know.
Yeah.
And while you was talking, I thought like within this whole, with me, regrounding and resetting and whatnot, I had a few business things not far my way, and I was ready to stop, quit, and give up. Like I had a whole different perspective of it. I didn't have that. Oh, it's gonna work out for my greater good perspective. I had like, I'm just this. I'm tired of all of this. So
Right. It happens. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
yeah. So like I just wanna. I just I said that to say this, like that's the importance of never losing faith, because that's the
Facts.
difference. That's the difference in
Facts.
both of those situations. It was like what sparked that thought was when you said like we have a choice. You know, how we gonna allow it to affect us?
Yes.
Like,
Yes. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
regardless of, you know what I'm saying, what you sitting in and you dealing with, like you got a choice, you know, to feel that way and whatnot. Not saying that you don't kind of have the right to feel the way you
Yeah.
feel,
Not to say
because
that's wrong at all.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly, you know, but you have a choice to stay in it. And like I say, for the first time, like
Yeah.
I almost choose to stay in it, almost, but you know, I got my prayers got answered, and I got that connection that I needed through that,
Man, that's
you
so
know,
amazing how that
through,
worked, man.
through those, you know. So
We get answers and acceptance through so many different ways. It's unbelievable. And you'll be surprised at how many times those moments come your way and you weren't even paying attention to it. That with the example of
exactly,
the dude at the bowling alley hitting you
exactly,
up, like I can only imagine
exactly.
how many different moments like that in your life where it was like it was there, but you weren't aware of it. But then that one you was definitely aware of. It probably could have happened 8, 9 times. You wouldn't even
Right,
know. Like,
right,
yo,
exactly,
that's
exactly,
crazy. Yeah, yeah,
exactly, exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
They
Like
there. You choose
like
to be
you.
aware of it, not.
Right, like I felt like my pops was smacking me, like you finally paid attention, boy. Now I can go back to
Bro.
doing what I was doing. Like
Man, that
get
is so
like
true, bro. Energy is
get it back
special.
together. It is,
Energy is
man.
special.
It is. It is. It is. It
Man.
is.
I was trying to think of a story the whole time, like how you had two stories, and oh man, all of them, all of them are like, shoot, I really just at the end of the day, I really just want to say I thank everybody that I've ever engaged with, and especially on the levels of them being understanding, uh, aware, and even physically in the position to deal with me and having sickle cell. That's like from parents, brother, sister, friends, like cousins. Like it don't matter who it is. Like I could think of something for every single person to me, and I'll sit here and talk about that for 10 hours. But at the end of the day, I'm definitely thankful for any and everybody who was able to engage with me at the end of the day and was aware of all of that. So yeah, especially man, the biggest one still right now is like even with off the camera, you said that how you gathered that understanding of your fellow sickler. I was like, yo, bro, that's a conversation piece. Like it can't be had, but that's only to say because something like that is so special to where it can only be understood through the person understanding it.
Yeah, I
You can
get that.
have a
Yeah.
conversation, but it's like you never really know if they get what you're saying. But something like that, yeah, definitely. That's why I'm like, man, I'm so thankful for you to say that. You got that understanding. I'm like, all right, cool. He got it. Man, I'm thankful for everybody on it, especially those who are with me on the journeys that I'm building now, from this podcast to my podcast to radio, other other projects I got going on. And at the same time, you know what? I think that'd just be boy, it's amazing how stuff come full circle, man. At the same time, I think that this is just a moment that I can say I'm thankful for everybody and for those who continue to engage with me. on a regular basis, or even not on a regular basis, it don't really matter. Anything your fellow sickler, and you've engaged with me, and you gathered the understanding of what your fellow sickler is, thank you. If you haven't gathered that understanding, just stick with me and come on this journey, and you'll get an understanding. At the end of the day, I promise you'll get an understanding. And the best way to do that right now, go to yourfellowsickler.org. Everything involving me, the way I think, who I am, the vibe that puts me in the moment to stay creative, everything around me, period, will be on that website. Right now, I just have a sign up list. I'm going live 2021. I'm a Capricorn, January. That's my birthday month. Sign up, you stay aware of everything I got going on. And I promise you, if you like the energy that I'm engaging with here, oh man, ain't nothing but positivity there everywhere around me. I promise you that. So I'm definitely thankful for you too, man. For real, for real. I'm thankful for everything you've done. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Hey, pleasure. And dang, I don't know how to follow that up, man. I don't know how to follow that moment of gratitude.
I mean,
up. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, when he done, I'm like, I got sun, and then I'm like,
I mean, go ahead. I mean,
hey,
that's what the episode about, man. That's what the episode about. It's special, bro.
But I really, highlighted, all my grateful moments, and they was coming to me as, the podcast moved, further into it, like they was coming to me and to give back. So I'm just grateful for like we were saying last week. I'm just grateful for the infinite intelligence working around me and through me, because is absolutely what it did today. Like I say,
man.
And then just on a deeper level, that Aunt Denise moment, that your dad moment, that's their dad working through them, because so that's their dad working through them. So
hey, man, that's so
real. Especially when Aunt Denise speak, because she her father's child, for real. Well, that's the whole nother.
That's real. That's real. That's real.
Topic. And
somehow energy is transferred, never lost, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm just grateful for all my mentors, my partnerships, my family, for sure, because they keep me grounded.
Man,
really just the like everything that I'm involved with, I'm grateful for it, because it keep me out of trouble,
right.
and constantly progressing, and it serves me. That's what I'm looking for. It serves me. So I'm most definitely grateful for that. Oh, and our podcast audience, like, we grateful for y'all.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we most definitely grateful for y'all.
And it's it's somehow even with us doing this episode, or any episode really, it's just doing the podcast, period. Continuing to stay aware of the fact of what keeps our cup full, so to speak, pouring into other people that are on the other side just watching, or pouring into each other when it comes through conversation.
Absolutely.
And still yet being able to get that same thing back. You pouring into somebody, they pouring right back into you. Even when it comes down to just people watching, we may not be able to know exactly who's who and be able to talk to everybody or something like that, but it still feeds. It still it still feeds the cup at the end of the day. It still feeds who we are.
It do because and we get moments um where you get moments where people watch that you don't even know watching, because I done got a couple of those, and it was just, that moment of gratitude, and I'm glad I never quit, and because
Yeah.
so it just reaffirms everything. But we ain't gonna hold y'all up, because we can
Oh, whew,
we
I'm
can
glad you got that.
just keep on going, because I
Because
know I know.
I was just about to give you. I was like, you know what? I am gonna share that story. All right, all right. No, we good. I
No,
was like, you
because
know what? I am gonna share it.
we'll just keep going, and I wanna stay on brand with our time. Uh, we I'm
No,
sure
that's real.
I'm sure it come back in a different way, because
Yeah,
everything always with us comes
it
full circle.
always do, bro. Yeah.
Always comes full circle. Y'all make sure y'all go get us some get reviews on
Oh
Apple
yeah,
Podcasts,
definitely.
Spotify, Google Podcasts. Y'all help us make this a top 10 self-improvement podcast. Like,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
it's gonna take everybody energy to in order to do it.
Facts, facts.
We making sure we continue to do our part to make our content better, to bring y'all just continue to bring y'all just authentic content.
That
Um,
right there. Yes, I was just
authentic
about to say
content.
that. I'm like, how many other uh I'm not gonna drag this out. How many other YouTubers or people that you watch are actually providing positive moments or whatnot? We have enough chaos and negativity, but yet it's so hard to find people that we can actually connect with and still build from at the end of the day. Not saying that we the goats of it or nothing like that, but just the fact that we're in the lane of presenting value, increasing your self worth
Yeah,
and whatnot, that means it's available. At the end of the day, a like, a comment, or whatever,
absolutely,
I
absolutely.
appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely, but we gonna do it regardless of saying it, because
Oh yeah,
we're gonna be doing it regardless. But if y'all want to pour into us and like help us get this podcast to the level that we both see it, that's what you can do. Um,
yes,
and
yes.
and we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We love y'all. We see y'all next week. Let's create.
Let's create.